Hello and welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I'm your host, Bob Peters, and as you can see, I have three lovely ladies with me. They are all members of the Daughters of American Revolution. They're going to talk about an event coming up, and this is Cindy Colovar.
Yes.
And she was on the radio with me on 1410 The Q, talking all about the event. And Cindy, you brought a couple of ladies with you.
Yes.
Are you going to have them introduce themselves, or would you like to introduce them?
Oh, well, I will have them introduce themselves.
And tell us where they're from.
All right. Hi, I am Gail Townsend. I currently live in Summerfield, but most of my roots are Leesburg. I am a member of the Mary Ellen Robertson chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Our chapter is mostly Leesburg ladies, but from others from the area also, and we meet at Howie in the Hills on Saturday mornings once a month.
And I'm Gail Everett, and I'm the regent for the Aqualaha chapter that was chartered in Eustis, and we meet in Mount Dora. And we are part of the the Lake Sumter's Regents Council, and we have 5 chapters representing all of South Lake County. So come join us if you have a patriot.
We'll get into what constitutes a patriot in a little bit. Cindy,
Yes, sir.
you were with me on the Q, 1410 The Q, with James Floyd, and we talked all about this project, and we talked about the Daughters of American Revolution, but why don't you introduce yourself and what your chapter is and where?
Okay. I'm Cindy Colovar, and I'm honorary regent of the John Bartram chapter in the Villages. And we are a 10-year-old chapter. We have about 200 members at this point. And my job has been as monument chair for the Lake Sumter Regents Council. So that involves all 5 chapters in our area. And we will be honoring our first patriots of the nation and of the revolution. And the second monument we're going to be dedicating is going to be the Braille Flag Monument. And that's going to be...
We're going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
She mentioned patriot.
Yes.
What do you constitute a patriot? Somebody wants to be a member. Would you like to talk about it? Would you like one of your friends to talk about it?
I'll have Gail talk about
I can
it.
tell you a little bit about a patriot. A patriot is anyone who assisted in our fight for independence during the period of 1775 to 1783. Then they helped with the withdrawal of the British troops from New York. Many of our patriots were in military service. Some were civil servants. The signers of the Declaration of Independence are obviously patriots. And anyone that really even contributed to the cause at that time, such as supplying goods and working with the patriots who were out there fighting.
How many members in your chapter?
Our chapter has about 40 members.
You know, I know your chapter very well.
Do you?
They gave me an award one time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Well
probably.
deserved, yes.
We just
you,
don't
my
hand
dear?
those out. So my chapter, as I said, meets in Mount Dora, and we have about 84 members. And we meet the second Saturday of every month.
Okay. All right. So now there's 5 chapters, right?
Right.
We have 3 here.
Right.
And you know, this lady is 7 feet tall.
I am. I like that. I'm taller than you are.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So tell the other 2 chapters. Where are they from?
Okay. There is another chapter in the Villages, and their name is Puck Puggy. And they will be represented at the dedication also. And they have about 130 members in their chapter, and they meet on the 3rd Friday of every month, like we do. But they meet in the afternoon, we meet in the morning.
Some people are morning people, some are afternoon.
That's right. And then the other chapter is in Claremont, and they're called the Tomoka chapter, and they meet on Saturdays in the once a month also.
Okay.
So,
Now, who would like to tell me how you become a member. Which one of you ladies wants to talk about that?
I can do that.
Okay.
So if you're interested and you don't know if you have a Patriot, we'll research your lineage all the way back. Now, if you have a grandmother or you have an aunt or, a sister that's in, then we get their national number and we just attach you to that lineage through paperwork and research.
Okay, good. So all 5 chapters, right, got together, and there's an event going to happen up in Bushnell, which is a national cemetery. And what did y'all do to raise the money? And what are you putting in up there?
Okay, we have 2 monuments we're putting in. The first monument is the Braille Flag Monument. It is made of gray granite, and on the very top slant of the monument will be the tactile Braille flag monument, and in the stripes will be embedded in Braille the Pledge of Allegiance. And that was, the money was raised for that through the John Bartram chapter. And it was going to be dedicated in 2020, and then COVID happened. And the cemetery completely shut down, and a multitude of issues came up, and it has been prolonged, placing it at the cemetery.
So the stones are there, but they're not placed right now.
The monument is not there yet.
Okay.
The monument will be
And it will
placed.
be by the Gold Star family, right?
It will be next to that plaza area. There is a walkway that surrounds the plaza, and it will be in amongst the trees. So it's a little bit shaded area. It won't be in the hot sun because it is a bronze flag, and we didn't want it to be hot if people were going to touch it. So it is in the area, and it will be right next to the walkway, so that people will be able to easily walk to the monument and see it. And then directly on the other side of the walkway, we'll be honoring our first patriots, and that will be a mirror image of the Braille Flag Monument. That it will be a gray granite stand, and then on the top of that will be a collage of pictures that is scenes from the Revolutionary War. It will be etched in black granite, and it will take in scenes from everyday people that were patriots to statesmen. So you will have a picture of the militia that will be going around saying the British are coming, as they throw through. That's a famous thought. We also had men on the high seas, so you will have a picture of a ship that also will be of our Navy, our first Navy. And then there is a picture of the Over the Mountain men, because they were the rural backwoodsmen who fought Indian style against the British. And so then you have a picture of Washington crossing the Delaware for his fight. And then we have a picture, of course, of Betsy Ross and the 13-star flag. And then it will end with Yorktown and the surrender of the British at Yorktown. And in the very center of it, we'll have some symbols of our independence, and that will be the Liberty Bell. It will have the scroll of our Declaration of Independence. It will have our 13-star flag, and it will also have our Liberty Tree for the Sons of Liberty. So all of those people were involved in some way toward our independence.
I got a question. Were you, any of you native Floridians, or where'd you come from?
I'm from Michigan.
I'm from Louisiana.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Now, I did that radio show with you. I got to mention this because a good friend of mine gave me a hard time.
Okay.
Because you talked all about the Revolutionary War, but you didn't mention my great-great-uncle, Seth Warner, the head of the Green Mountain Boys.
That was part of the Mountain Men.
Yeah, so I got it on film now, so he'll leave me alone now.
Oh, but I did mention it the first time, so
You
yes.
did?
The picture
Hey,
of
Bill,
the
you
Over
hear that?
Mountain then.
He had no right yelling at me then, did he?
Nope.
No.
Okay. But anyway, Seth Warner and the Green Mountain Boys. So, you all got together. And I'm going to ask different questions here. Which one of you ladies would want to talk about how you raised the money? What did you do to raise the money?
I think Cindy's the best one to tell.
Are you going to leave everything to Cindy or what?
Well, she raised the money for the Braille Flag, her chapter. Our chapter raised money just by donations from the members themselves. And then we had a very generous anonymous donation for our portion for the First Patriots. That's what we did.
Okay.
What I had initiated the Honoring the First Patriot back in September of 2020, as I was still waiting to try and place the Braille Flag Monument. So as I was working on that, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be completed when anything goes into a veteran's cemetery. So part of the criteria was that whatever monument you have must reflect the cemetery itself. So in order for us to put in a patriot monument, we had to look at the cemetery to see if there were any patriots buried there. Well, obviously,
There's a lot of people buried there.
but the trick was from the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, you see, Florida wasn't part of the original 13 colonies.
No, it was not really part
was
of the
Brit-
America, really.
Right, it was Spanish. But afterwards, then
And the snowbirds came down.
that's right, as patriots, and they settled here because that was part of the expansion of the United States at the time. So we did a research and found that there were 2 headstones, and they're called cenotaphs, and they're at the Patriot. They're at the monument, part of the monuments that are not monuments, but headstones at the
Do you know where
Florida.
those 2 headstones are?
Oh, yes.
So I'll take a picture when we get up. I got to tell the folks watching this right now that we were recording this in November. The event is going to be December, which is open to the public. Right?
Yep, December
December-
14th at 2 in the
December 14th.
afternoon.
So this will not air until after I go up there and do some file footage. You could show me those 2 headstones and we'll put
All
them
right,
in there.
good.
Make for a great show,
Yes.
you know? So,
So the 2 headstones were a Benjamin Latimer and a Benjamin Shirley. So with that information, I was able then to complete some paperwork for the cemetery on the proposal to place it there. So I had done a lot of preliminary work and had worked with a donor, and he supported us from the very beginning. And that is, his name is Dex Conrad, and he is with, let me get this straight, don't want to get with Cole Engineering Services in Orlando. So his company supported us from the very beginning on that. Well, we also found when I was completing the paperwork that there can only be one monument for a topic, and that was the Revolutionary War Patriots.
Yeah.
So at that time then, the other chapters had wanted to put a Patriot monument of some type out there, and you can't have more than one.
so is that the one you were involved with? Or?
Yes.
Yes.
And tell about that one. What is that monument?
That's our First Patriots that Cindy went into some specificity and described what was on there. And so we all got very excited about it as the council, and we spoke about it for 2 years on what we wanted to put on there. And then going back and forth, and Cindy would go check, and we can't do that. We can't have guns. We can't show violence. We can't have anybody specific people. It has to be everyday patriots on there that were at the time. We can't have, Paul Revere on there. So it was going
Or
back.
Seth Warner.
Or Seth Warner.
So
There you
we
go,
had, so we did a lot of work on that, so to be able to finalize what we wanted, because we had a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
But
We
it
had
was
to meet the
determined. It
criteria.
had to meet the criteria, and not only did it have to meet what the VA said we could do, But then the toughie comes in is meeting the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Oh.
So we could get that plaque on there. And they were even more tough and more stringent than the VA.
Right.
Nothing's easy. I had several gentlemen here that are on the committee for putting the monuments in, and we're starting out with the Revolutionary War, and eventually over the years they're going to go Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War, what have you, you know. And so yeah, I know it's a long process, and I give you credit for what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's all Cindy. Cindy did all the research for us and read
How
and
much you got to pay them?
Oh, a lot. They've been helping me every step of the way. I'm telling you, I could pick up the phone and say, can you look this up or can you check that? And they were readily for me.
That's a team.
That's a
good
team.
team effort.
So what ended up happening is that we have the etching on the top, and then on one side of the etching, we have a picture that is called The Forgotten Patriots. And it is an outline, a silhouette of an indigenous person and a person of color. And so we wanted to make sure DAR is looking at that to make sure these are the people that are also recognized as patriots, because they were very instrumental in winning our independence.
We had instrumental in this country.
That's right. So we had we had a man of color that was a spy for Washington. We also had the Oneida nation that supported Washington at Valley Forge, that gave them food, gave them corn, and were able to survive that winter. Without their help, we wouldn't have been able to survive. So we're really putting the effort forward in the last few years to make sure that those patriots are recognized and that their ancestors can become a part of the DAR also.
Well, I give you credit. You guys put a lot of work into it, and I know you're going to be thrilled at that day.
Yes.
So, but you told me about, and I want to meet this guy, not just because his last name is the same as mine.
Oh, of course not.
But yeah, his name is Walter Peters, right?
Yes, yes.
And tell me about what he adds to this.
Okay. Walter Peters, he's first class, sergeant first class. He was in Vietnam, a couple tours, and he was exposed to Agent Orange several times. And he has become legally blind because of it. And after he was discharged, he decided it became a mission of his, and he is now president of the American Braille Flag project. And what the project does is he would like to see the Braille flag with the Pledge of Allegiance embedded in the stripes, placed at every veterans facility and every cemetery that he could, because these are the men that
And
women who gave to this country and who honor and respect the flag and would like to be able to still, it is in their memory.
It's going to be a moving moment when he's there.
Very, very moving.
I want to meet him. I really got to meet him.
He will be unveiling the Braille Flag Monument, along with my cohort, Claudia Jacques. She was the 2-year project person. Her and I started working together back in 2018, 2019, working on this Braille flag.
Okay, I'm here now with Walt Peters, and this other gentleman is
Paul Kaminsky.
Kaminsky, and you're both with the same organization, right?
Yes, he is the chief executive officer of the American Braille Flag Project.
And I've been wanting to meet you because I think what you've done, putting Braille on the back of the mine, is fantastic.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it gives anybody that's visually impaired a chance to read it and understand, you know, and
Right.
And I had to meet you, sir, because I knew you'd be a handsome man named Peters. You got to be a handsome guy. You
Well, I
know?
don't know. I ain't seen me in years.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I'm Bob Peters, and I can
Right.
tell. I can tell a handsome man when I see it. So you're a Vietnam veteran,
Yes, I
and
have.
from what I understand, you got Agent Orange.
Yes.
Was yours, and you, sir?
I'm a Vietnam era guy. I never served in Vietnam, but I was hurricane hunters. You know, just running up and down the flight decks. Did 30 years. Took my eyesight when they gave me a set of shots that affected my eyesight.
Oh, yeah, oh, so you had an injection.
Yeah.
Well, you never know, right?
Only God knows.
Only God knows. You were Army?
Army, yes.
Okay.
I
Well,
was in the Army 20 years. I went in 63.
Go Navy.
let's see.
That's right.
Wait a minute. I got the Army here, I got the Navy, but you know what? It's a nice show, and I'm Air Force.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, tell us about your experiences here.
Well, I had 3 tours. The flight engineer, aircraft recovery specialist when they go down, and hydraulics, a gunner.
Wow.
And I, after the 3 tours, he said I had enough of Vietnam. So then I went to 101st Airborne, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and then I started playing the Grand Ole Opry in '73.
What do you mean the Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah, I'm the oldest member of the Musicians Guild.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And I started there, and then a general by the name Harry Brooks was taking over 25th Division in Hawaii. And he said, well, you're good enough to play. You would be good enough. You're good. So I went over there. I never wore a uniform in 10 years after that. And I toured the world playing music, all the American embassies.
Wow.
We done the 200-year celebration and done the Kennedy Center performing art.
Did you ever meet Waylon Jennings?
Yeah, I met him a number of times.
I did an interview with his brother, Tommy.
Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, I asked him if he wanted me to join the group, and he said, no.
No. But no, I've been blessed, really. I've had a chance to play with a lot of artists. And Schofield Barracks in Hawaii, I'm the fellow who started George Strait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, you find that in.
Well, let's tell the whole story about George Strait. He was stationed in Hawaii. And the general says, put a band together. We want to entertain the troops with troops.
Yeah.
So he got the band together, and then he was trying to audition to find a singer, lead singer and a little guitarist.
Yeah.
And so one of the drummer said, hey, there's this guy that's playing downtown sometimes. He sings, give him a try. Paul says, yeah, bring him in. Let's give him a try. And they give him a try, and that was George Strait.
Wow. He was a finance clerk.
So he taught George Strait how to do country stuff right. And of course, George just took it on himself and just became a big damn star.
Yes.
Yeah, that he is.
But
Walt's been inducted into the Independent Musicians Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I want to ask you one question, because, this is a YouTube channel. It's Central Florida Salute on YouTube. And I imagine you won't be able to see it, but you can listen to it.
yeah,
And if people want to know more about what you guys do, you have a website or something?
we have a website. It's called American Braille Flag Project.
ABFP.us.
Yeah, because like I said, when I've worked with the Daughters of the American Revolution on several different things, and when I heard they were doing this, I said, we're going to come up and I'll promote it. And then I found out, and I saw this name, Walt Peters. I said,
Hey,
Yeah.
you got to interview a
There
guy
you
named
go.
Walt Peters.
You ladies excited about it or what?
Yes.
Watching this come to
Extremely
fruition.
excited.
And we will be having as our honored guest the state regent, the Florida State Regent, Cynthia Addison. So she will be our keynote speaker that day.
You have some other folks that are showing up too.
Yes, we
I know a couple of them.
Yeah, we try to invite representatives of each of the wars that are still alive. So we have 99-year-old World War II veteran Irving Locker, and he has been a guest at our meetings and several other organizations in the.
He's been here too.
Yes, he is a fascinating gentleman. So he will be there. We also have Major General Mick Waters, and he will be representing the Korean War. So, and he's our special guest. And then, of course, Conrad, or Dex Conrad, and he is he's a veteran Marine of the Middle East conflicts. So he is going to be, of course, there to unveil the honoring this first patriot.
I do a lot of in the history stuff, but there's a guy I told you about, Bob Grenier. He's a very famous historian down here.
Yes. In fact, tie into you for that, where the Eustis Historical Museum is,
Yes.
that's actually the Clifford House, which goes to my chapter, one of our ladies. They were one of the founding families of Eustis, and we're working to put a DAR plaque there to honor that family and the history of Eustis. He has spoken at our chapter, and he is fascinating.
Well, you can invite him to our dedication.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You stay right here for a minute.
Oh, yeah, we'll get our pictures taken again. It's a Kodak moment. Sure.
Can I talk a little bit about the Daughters of the American Revolution?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay. The Daughters of the American Revolution was founded in 1890, and it's headquartered in D.C. In fact, their headquarters is the only women's-owned building in the nation's capital. It's right across from the White House. So our objectives as DAR is historical preservation, which is part of what we're doing with this monument. Also educational, which we focus toward children and adults, and again, what we do here now talking about DAR. And then patriotism, and that is both as veterans, as our history, and as our active military. So we're involved in all aspects of that. We're one of the most inclusive genealogical societies in the country. We have more than 190 members in 3,000 chapters across the United States.
Oh, that's a lot of chapters.
And across the world. And we have chapters in Canada, Mexico, the Bahamas, Guam, Puerto Rico. We have it in Japan, Germany, France, Italy, England. We have them across the world, and all of those chapters then interface with us, and we can be associate, and they're called overseas units. So many of our chapter members are associates of all of those chapters overseas. The state of Florida has 111 chapters and with 11,000 members. And between all of our chapters here in this area, we have about 500 members. So,
That's great.
Yep. So anyone that can prove lineage to a patriot from the American Revolution can be a part of our can be a part of one of our members. And if you're a male and you have a patriot in your line, then you can join the Sons of the American Revolution. And a lot of our husbands are
How
involved.
big are they?
You know, I don't have all the statistics on that. Do you happen to know?
No, I know my husband belongs to the Lake Sumter chapter, which meets in Fruitland Park at the American Legion Hall. And there's a chapter, at least one in the villages, if
Yep.
not more than one. And they're very active, and many of them belong to color guard units that actually do
Do you
presentations.
guys do it together, the daughters and the sons who do it?
We do some,
We
we
so
do,
do join, yes.
You're
and
in
they-
parades, right? You go into parades?
We-
Well, we're the parade chapter because we're in Eustis, so the last Saturday of every February, we're marching in George Fest. And we
Yeah,
march
I
with
knew they
the
did something.
sons.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Traverse is fantastic for veterans and stuff.
Yeah.
Taking care of, yeah.
And
And
the cool-
Puck Puggy, and the Puck Puggy is chapter is.
Say that real quick.
Puck Puggy chapter is very active in parades at the around the memorial center there in the villages.
And here's an interesting fact. Most people think it's for the daughters to be a daughter. It's from your mother's line. It can be from either side, your father or your mother. So if you find out that you have a patriot, then your daughter and granddaughters can come through you and be. It's not just maternal linkage.
And you could do this, right, by computer? Is that what you do?
That's right, and all of our chapters have registrars that will work with you if you contact them to help you with tracing back your lineage to see if you do have surprise, surprise. I do have a patriot in
Now,
my.
who is yours?
Mine is Mr. James Huey, and he was from Virginia. He fought mainly in the southern part of the conflict areas.
And my patriot is Jacob Hout, and he's from Pennsylvania. And he was injured in Germantown early on in the knee, but he was a farmer, so he gave all of his farming food and grain and horses to the cause. That's what he did.
Yeah, interesting. So,
And my patriot is Arthur Ames. And he was a Virginia patriot. He was a private, and he was born in Virginia and died in Virginia. So I am a descendant of his.
And here's another fun fact about the daughters. So you would think we've gotten all the patriots, right? No, we're researching, and every month we're adding to our database of proven, vetted patriots. So you might have checked last year and you weren't. You might have checked 5 years ago and you weren't. You could now be a member.
yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. And the amazing thing is our most recent past state regent, she's a genealogist, and she'll work on anybody. She worked for 5 years because this gentleman had heard the story through his family that they had a patriot. And he was a man of color, a black man, and he couldn't prove it. Debbie worked 5 years and proved and found it and did it, and so he could be an SAR.
Oh, good.
And that just warms my heart.
Well, you know, the Daughters of the American Revolution, your chapter, Mary Ellen Roberts,
Right.
they gave me a citation and award a couple of years back. So I kind of have a special relationship.
Oh, that's right.
And,
That's
you know,
right.
And when I went there with my wife, and I learned a lot about what you guys do as far as you try to educate young people too, right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about some of the other programs other than this.
Well, I work with my chapter, and as I think each of our chapters in this area do, on an American history essay contest that is, it encourages middle school and high school students to learn more about the American Revolution and American history, and they may write an essay on a designated topic and submit it for competition. There's a local winner, state winner, and even can be a national winner of our essay contest to try to help kids nowadays learn more about American history.
That's what we try to do here too,
Yes.
you know, and,
It's hard.
yeah, I guess your chapter, all chapters do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, 4 years ago, our gentleman won for the state and went up against national.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And we give scholarships out and awards for citizenship to help encourage leadership within the schools, not just academic-wise, but also leadership quality. And that's really showing patriotism, or that they are involved with their community in depth in some way, whether it be part of a community service organization, that these kids, that we want to recognize them also.
Yeah.
In
That's great, 'cause,
fact, Gail's chapter, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, had a young man in Lake County, Benjamin Mack Jackson, who got very discouraged in junior high when there was one paragraph about World War II. And he went around, and he's still doing to this day, making his mission to
He's in college
record.
now, I think.
Yep,
Yes.
recording. And they put him up for, was a DAR Citizen of the Year, and he won for the state. So we recognize at various levels and various participation and creativity.
I know your daughters are patriots, but when I end my show, veterans salute like this, non-veterans salute like that. So I want you all to join me.
Okay.
We're going to look at that camera there.
All right?
Okay.
To all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you. Till next time. That's how it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.